We're just sitting here waiting for Beauty and the Beast, and while it's loading, we wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Well, I can say watching the movie was more of an experience than anything else.
Yeah, it was cool. It was nice to look at.
It was nice to look at, but watching the movie was just like not the actual movie, but like watching the process of the actual movie. Like, because we were streaming it off my computer and it was buffering so much for some reason.
It just got so ridiculous,
But we finished it. Like always, I'm Nolan.
I'm Austin.
And this is going to be an interesting review for us because, again, this is another like polarizing film. This is filmed for this year, and we took a poll on Twitter, and the new Beauty and the Beast won.
I'm just thinking of like that's how cringe like some of the parts were for me when, what's the actress's name? Emma Watson.
Emma Watson was singing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like she was trying too hard almost. Like, I don't know.
But I told the story last time of the nut job. Then I think you have to tell the story of the beans. But I think that we should give our quick thoughts on the original, since this is technically a remake of the '91 classic. And for me, I love this movie. I'm a dude, like, I love comic book movies, explosions, and Conor McGregor fights, but I have a huge soft spot for Beauty and the Beast. It's one of the best animated movies ever made, and I think it's a lot better, the best Renaissance Disney movie. So, what are your thoughts on the original?
It's pretty good. I really liked it when I was young, but there is a aspect of it that I found a little creepy. The whole kidnapping thing, the Stockholm Syndrome thing. It's the chick falling in love with the dude that kind of forced her to stay there for a bit. But.
Right. And what's the story of Beauty and the Beast if people don't know already?
Yeah, if you've been living under a rock or don't have a human soul or anything like that. Basically, there's this chick in this village. I would call it a village.
It's, a
town that's smart. She reads books and whatnot. Pretty different than, I'm guessing, than what most girls were like in that generic time period they're presenting to us. Her name's Belle, the main character, pretty much, other than the Beast, of course. And blah, blah, blah. Her father gets captured by the Beast, because I don't remember what happens in the original.
What happens in this one is that Maurice, the dad, stumbles across the castle, and then he leaves, stops and gets Rose for Belle, and gets captured. Yeah, we'll talk about that later, but and that's basically it.
Well, he gets captured, and then she comes looking for him, and then she gets captured in exchange to save her dad, and then the rest of the film kind of just focuses on Belle and her interaction with the Beast.
Okay, so as I said earlier today on Twitter, Austin liked it when he saw it, and then when I saw it, we both watched again. I went on a huge Twitter rant against this movie. So have your thoughts changed while watching this movie, or?
I guess when I first watched it, I kind of just, it's just fanboying just because of pure nostalgia. I'm like, oh, it's Emma Watson. Oh, it's Josh Gad. He's a good singer from Book of Mormon and whatnot. And I don't know the other actor that played Gaston, but he was pretty solid too.
Right.
I don't know, just when I start to watch it closely with a critical eye, I could see some spots where they possibly could have done something different to save a little bit of money, like the opening scene where it's like...
Yeah, the opening scene, that opening scene, that was my biggest Twitter rant, if I remember right, because it shows the Beast as the prince being mean to the witch, and then it gets transformed, and I don't know, we both came up with the good idea, if we were directors, that it would just be stained glass, something like computer animation, something to do along with the Star Wars movies, is just stained glass, like a one shot, or like the text scroll from the Star Wars movies, and then it just pans to the Beast slashing the picture, and then the Rose, Beauty and the Beast, Belle.
Pretty much, but Maybe. I think a lot of times throughout the film they're like, oh, look at all this cool special effects we can use now in this new day and age. Ooh.
Right. I think before I talk about the negatives, I think we should talk about what we both thought were the positives. My biggest positive of the movie is Josh Gad and Luke Evans, the guy who played Gaston, as Gaston and LeFou. They were incredible. Like, Josh Gad was born for this role, and he just rocked it. Like, those two, I think, were the best in the movie. Other than, of course, Ian McKellen as Cogsworth and Obi-Wan Kenobi as Lumiere.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I like the way that the costumes and settings looked. It looked very nice, and like a lot of thought went into it.
Oh yeah, it looked beautiful.
There was one thing in the beginning of the movie that kind of you questioned that I kind of thought was funny, was that the fact that she runs out to a random hill for no purpose or anything.
Runs because because she lives in the village instead of outside of the village. She lives in and she just runs up the hill like Sound of Music. Like,
yeah,
like in the cartoon, like it made sense for her just to run out to the hills because she lived near the hills, and here it's just like she ran like 5 miles, ran up the hill, and then ran back.
Like she got to it relatively fast, so like it was like Game of Thrones teleporting type thing.
Exactly. You know? Alright, that was basically my positives about the movie. What I hated about it was many things. I did not like this movie. It's not because, the original is better. No, the original has problems, but you forget about that because everything about that movie was so good. Like, I think, like, the worst part about this movie, I don't know for you, but for me, were the backstory of Belle and the Beast. How, their mothers died, and, like, the Beast's father was a jerk to him. Belle's mom died in the plague, and then the doctor was like, you have to take her to a village. And the teleporting book.
Yeah. Oh wait, there literally is a thing that teleports them. I forgot
the
about
teleporting book. It's some Doctor Who type stuff.
Like Doctor Who, a literal plot device to show, like, to have the Beast and Belle connect. A literal device to teleport them somewhere.
Right.
And it's just, they try so hard to, like, throw it in, and maybe they're just, my only explanation could be, like, they're making it so simple that kids could understand it, you know, but I feel like they should have maybe kept in mind that people like us who watch the original and whatnot.
Like, again, like, showing the original for your kids not bad, but this comes up with another issue, is that there's already another version of Beauty and the Beast. It's the Broadway version. And listening to that soundtrack again, the songs were so much memorable in the Broadway show. I can't remember a single song, a new song. Maybe like an additional lyric to Gaston, but nothing else. Like, it's a shame because the original writer and one of the writers that was brought on after his partner tragically died, wrote beautiful music for the Broadway show, and again, the songs are just not there. And like, jumping ahead to 2019, that's my concern with the Lion King remake, is that like they're going to get some pop star to write new music.
There's a Lion King remake?
Yeah. It's from the same guy who did Jungle Book, so it could be good. But anyways, focus back to the movie. But yeah, it's so much. It could have been so much stronger if they adapted the Broadway show, but I don't know why.
Yeah, they had Josh Gad, who, you know, has that experience.
And Josh Gad, like, there's 2 Broadway, like, professional, like, Broadway singers. The Dresser is from Broadway, and, you know, Josh Gad was in Book of Mormon, which also brings me to the issue is that the singing is either terrible to, you know what, you're trying and you're having fun, so you're passable, to you're way too good to be singing in this movie. And you should be in a better version of this movie. Like, I thought Emma Watson was awful. Like
it felt like auto-tuned to me or something.
It was. You could tell it was auto-tuned because they realized that she couldn't sing when she was recording it. Dan Stevens can't sing.
It was just very inconsistent with like the vocals and such.
Like something with like Les Miserables, going with another musical, comparing it to that. Everybody was fine in that movie, except for Russell Crowe. You could obviously pick out that Russell Crowe's the worst singer in that movie. Into the Woods, Johnny Depp was the one that was the weak spot. Meryl Streep was fine, but the rest were just good. Speaking of another Disney adaptation of a musical. In this movie, it's really inconsistent. That's the same thing with the acting. Like, when she's not singing, Emma Watson's fine. Same thing with Dan Stevens. The only one that, for me anyways, that was terrible was Maurice. Like, the guy who played Maurice. Like, I've seen him in other stuff, but he was great in other stuff, but, you know, in this, he's not good.
No, I feel like this one might be like the type of film that its fans are like, oh, watch Beauty and the Beast. It has like this armor on it. Like you're only like trashing it because I don't know, you're too hardcore fan of the original or something like that.
And I'm a hardcore fan of the original, and I hate this movie, but I can understand like why people like this.
Yes.
And you know, like if I were to recast it, I don't know who would play Emma Watson, but I know who would play the Beast. And it's not because he has a giant beard right now. It's Josh Groban.
Yeah.
I think Josh Groban would have killed it as singing songs for this movie, but...
I have an alternative idea.
Who?
Hodor.
Hodor. Yes, Hodor.
Hodor.
Hodor as everyone.
Oh, this is the whole movie where all the dialogue is Hodor.
Hodor. Oh, that'd be great. But, one other issue I have with this movie is LeFou. Like, I love Josh Gad. The character was great, but Disney decided to make him a gay character for some reason. I felt like that was just a publicity stunt.
Yeah, did they, like, need to make him, like, the token gay guy or something?
Yeah, like they don't really need to make him a token gay guy. He's flamboyant like Lumiere, but I don't understand. That was just one of the weirdest changes, and a lot of people got upset about that other than anything else.
Yeah, out of all the things to get upset about, like, they choose, like, him, like, being gay, which, you know, which we do admit is, like, kind of unnecessary, but, I mean, it just doesn't really do anything, honestly. Right. It's just, like, not even significant enough to the point where, why did they even do it in the first place, but I don't...
Like, going with another Disney property, if it came out that Finn and Poe are gay, I mean, that makes sense for the story because they had such a strong connection. In this, it just feels like they were doing it because, I don't know, Disney doesn't have a lot of gay characters. I'm not really an expert on modern Disney movies, so if they do have a lot of gay characters, please comment below. I'm actually genuinely curious.
Yeah, can you, like, send a, like, comment, tweet at us, like, that stuff? Because we wanted to be, like, generally informed and, like, as accurate as possible.
Yeah. Like I talked about the songs. I talked about LeFou's like characterization in the movie. It just feels like they did a shot-for-shot remake of the cartoon.
Yeah. And
then added unnecessary songs and unnecessary things like Belle's mom dying.
I just hate the teleporting book, dude. Like
the teleporting book, like, okay, we're going back to that. Like, I understand the mirror just looking at it. Like, if the mirror showed the flashback of Belle's mom dying, I wouldn't have as big of an issue with it. But if it's a teleporting book, we're getting into Harry Potter, Doctor Who type magic, science. But, man, like...
I don't know. It's just... It kind of, like, because her mom... Did they say her mom died in the plague in the original?
No, like, that's the thing, is that, like, we don't know, like, Belle or the Beast's backstory, and you know what? If it had better writing, I think it would have been fine.
Yeah, no, I guess it raised a little more questions for me. Like, all right, wasn't the plague like super like contagious and stuff? Or I felt like maybe there was a high chance that Belle and her dad would have caught it. Like, I guess they're magical and stuff.
Yeah, like again, like some of the stuff in this movie. Again, we don't hate this movie because. Well, I don't hate this movie. I don't know your thoughts, but
we're gonna ask the question now.
Okay, Austin, was it that bad?
I think we might have a different answer on this one this week, Nolan, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think it was meh.
Meh.
It was okay.
I thought it was bad, but I didn't think it was as bad as I remember watching it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's bad, but you know what? If it's between this and The Nut Job or watching Ghostbusters and Emoji Movie again, I'd do a double feature of this because at least the good stuff for me, I can withstand a 2-hour movie. So.
Yeah, as always, you can follow us on our social media, right?
Yep, follow me. You can follow me at the Nolan Vogel.
At Wire Machine. I still need to change it to my actual name still.
Yeah, that's overrated, by the way. Tune in next week. Okay, so our schedule now is we will post these on Wednesday.
Yep. You know, class is starting up. We just needed to pick the day where it just made sense for both of us, so.
And next week, since the remake of It is coming out soon, we're just going to give it a hint right now. We're going to do a Stephen King movie.
Yeah, make sure to check out Nolan's Twitter. I'll retweet it, of course.
Yep. And hey, you got a visitor.
Nice.
All right. Sorry.